What's up, everybody? This is your girl Alicia, as promised, coming to give you a video on this beautiful Monday afternoon. Y'all have to excuse these shades because my eyes is on, like, they're on some real super sensitive stuff right now. Not really sure what's going on with that. So, I ain't trying to stunt or nothing. I just gotta have these shades on because my eyes are just super sensitive right now. So I was debating about what type of video to do, and you guys have, whether it's underneath previous videos on YouTube, whether it's through social media platforms, you guys have been flooding me, and I feel the love and I feel the energy, and I'm so grateful for that. I had two things that come up that I thought was very good questions or comments or what have you. So the first one was someone wanted to know, and I've had a lot of people ask me this. They wanted to know what's my reasoning for liking Alex and Noah so much, and I thought that was really good because I never have really talked about that. I think I've said some statements but not really expressed in detail why I really do enjoy them as a couple. And another one was someone asked me, and I thought this was really good because no one has asked me this before, and they said that if I could have wrote season 2 for Star, what would I have done differently? And I thought that was very good. That's a whole video in itself, so that'll be the one I'll do on Thursday. However, today is going to be the reason why I go into detail about the reason, the whys of why I like Alex and Noah. So, you know what I'm saying? If this is your first time watching one of my videos, welcome. And if you are a returning Star family member, it's always great to see y'all. And how I do, I'm just get right into it. Since I have been little, I have always been fascinated and drawn to certain television shows. And I thank my mom because when I was younger, she always played like a different world, the Cosby Show, Hanging with Mr. Cooper, Saved by the Bell, those kind of shows. So that was the kind of stuff I grew up watching, very, positive images on television. Especially with being, a little girl, seeing positive images on television is very important. And of course, over the years, television has taken on a life of its own with a lot of reality TV shows and things that don't always paint us in a good light. However, I've always been drawn to chemistry, and the memory that I have that I could say that I really became drawn to couples is A Different World. And that was with, Dwayne Wayne and Whitley Gilbert, also Jasmine Guy and Kadeem Hardison. And I believe that, and I don't know every TV show, I haven't watched every TV show, but from what I have been exposed to, they were the perfect example of chemistry, something that could not be developed, something that could not be orchestrated. It was a very organic and natural occurrence between the two. And I remember hearing Jasmine Guy talk about, once they knew that they were going to put the characters together, she had to tell Kadeem, you got to start treating me differently. If this is where our characters are going, you're going to have to make some changes as to how we even deal with each other in our, personal lives. Even though they never crossed that line or nothing like that, they just had to change the dynamic between the two. And I always thought they were like, the chemistry between them to me was just, I don't think I've ever seen anything to match them. The chemistry that they had was just remarkable. And I remember, I had to be like 5-6 years old when that show was going on, but I just remember like the feeling that you had when you saw them on screen together, how the audience would go crazy when they kissed, or the audience would go crazy when they shared like nice little sentiments between one another. And for all of us who remember that wedding scene when she was getting ready to marry Byron, and Dwayne came and shut the whole thing down, the audience went crazy. Being a little girl watching that, I went crazy because I knew they were supposed to be together. And so I remember Jasmine Guy was saying, even though the audience knew what was going to happen, they literally could not record for 5 minutes because the live studio audience was so loud in their response to what they were seeing. So I've always been fascinated with that. And there are not too many couples that I have seen that has that type of chemistry. I think that a lot of, in today's time, we see a lot of movies where they may get two big names. But just because you have two big names, it doesn't mean that these people are going to have the chemistry that you need to actually sell them as a couple. Another memory is with Nia Long and Lorenz Tate in Love Jones. I mean, that's my favorite movie, but it was like the chemistry between them, it was so perfect. Like I said, something that you could not orchestrate, something that you could not develop. It was just something that was naturally there. I've seen it and not even just with adults. One of the great shows to me is Dawson's Creek. And if anybody, I know my girl Jackie, who is a faithful viewer, and she commented, she do her own reviews as well. She know me and her connect with that. If you've never seen Dawson's Creek, Alex and Noah's relationship, whoever are the writers for Star, they have definitely taken the treatment for the development of Alex and Noah's character from Dawson's Creek. The chemistry that Joshua Jackson and Katie Holmes had, even though they did date in real life, it was remarkable. And I think they were like 19 years old when they started the show, but the chemistry that they had was so infectious, and it was so pulling, and it was so drawing that you didn't want to see her with anybody else. And even though her character name was Joey and Joshua Jackson character name was Pacey, you wanted them to be together, even though a lot of people wanted her to be with Dawson because he was the star of the show and everything kind of circled around him. However, in the third season, everything changed. Everything became about Pacey and Joey, and that's what I see when I look at Ryan Destiny and Luke James. And I have said multiple times that I do believe that Ryan Destiny and Quincy have chemistry together. That I can't deny that they do have chemistry together. However, to me, it does not equate to the chemistry that I see or the magic that I see of what happens when I look at Noah and Alex together. And it could be, and I don't know, it's like it's a very natural thing. It's a very organic like thing, you know. And there are a lot of people, you know. And one thing about me, and I'm just going to give y'all a little tidbit about this, because I do have an interview coming up, but it's going to be like a really, really, you know, not star-studded, but a very, you know, professional interview that's going to give you guys a little bit more insight to me as a person. However, I didn't start watching Star until November of last year. So when I started watching Star, the first half of the second season was almost over. I didn't start watching it until episode 6 was about to air. So what I did was I binged before I saw any shows on the second season. I binge watched the first season. So for me, I come from a place where I wasn't biased with Derek and Alex. I did not know how close Quincy and Ryan Destiny was. I was not up on game like that. So for me, I came from a very unbiased, a very unjudgmental place. I was just watching the show unfold. So everybody else who followed the show knew what was going on, but me, I started a little late. So when I started watching the show, I fell in love with it. However, I was never a diehard Alex fan. I can't even say I really was a fan. I just knew this is the guy that she's with, this is the woman that he's with. But to me, it was always something missing from their relationship. And honestly, Alex and Derek makes me think of like my first puppy love relationship, like that first love person. They will always have a special place in your heart. However, it's a very it's a learning experience. Our relationships are, but it's like that one thing, that relationship where you're young and maybe you're not able to grasp everything that's going on or appreciate, you know, who you are to each other. However, when you get into that adult, like that real first serious relationship, you know, it challenged you in ways that you've never been challenged. It pushed you in ways to be mature that you never thought that you could actually, that number one, you possess certain qualities, and number two, that you could actually love someone in that way, that you love them through difficulties, that you love them through, you know, heartaches, that you see the bigger picture in, you know, where your relationship is going. And that's what I see when I look at Alex and when I look at Noah, and even with his addiction, and even her making the right decision to take a break. Y'all, they need it. You know, you need to get yourself together. You know, and also just like with Derek and Alex, you know, when she began to withdraw from him because of whatever her reasoning was, just like any little puppy love relationship, we're not very forthcoming in how we feel, because we don't want to hurt that person. We don't want to, you know, be the reason for their, you know, their heartbreak. However, even though I was mad at the writers, not mad but upset, but that's how you know they're good, because they keep us, you know, hanging on, want to know what's going on, why y'all going in this direction. It's just something about Nalex that is so special. And I look at it, like I said, from a very unbiased position. I just look at it from my standpoint, just as a person of what I love and what I do. I study couples. I studied House of Pain, Janine and CJ, Demetria McKinney and Alan Payne. I really studied them. I bought the DVDs. I would study their roles. I would study how they interacted with each other. And they're also two people who have really, really good chemistry with each other on set when House of Pain was on. And I'm like, I look for, it's the small things that make things mean something. Just like when you look at Alex and Noah, how he calls her Crane, he calls her by her last name. It's a direct parallel and a direct reference to Dawson's Creek, because Pacey always called Josephine by her last name, which was Potter. And so I see the dynamic. I even see where Star is going. Like, to be honest, I see how this thing is really going to play out. I'm not saying nothing, but I see how they're going to play out, because I see where they got their treatment from, and where they got their standard of how they are building this relationship. So when it's and so I do have people that, no, I'm not hating on Derek and Alex. I appreciate the relationship for what it was. No, I'm not a Derek basher. I just appreciate him for his character, for what he is and what he brings to the show. And even with that, I had some people, saying that I didn't, they were asking me, is it because I don't like Derek is why I don't want to see Alex and Derek together? And I'm like, that has nothing to do with it. I've always loved Derek as a character. It's just that we don't know too much about Derek. Like, there are certain things about Derek I want to know. I want to know what made him get involved with Black Lives Matter movement. I want to know how losing both of his parents at a young age has really affected him. Does he have any siblings? What are his goals and aspirations? What do he want to do? So there are so many things about Derek that we just don't know, which I think would really they need to give him a favorable nod, in what they're doing, to see how Derek can hold his own on screen without being the boyfriend of Alex. Like, really seeing him become a staple character, on the show, if they choose to go in that direction. But that's really the reason why I'm just a firm believer on chemistry. I'm a firm believer on connection. And when I see them together, when I see Ryan Destiny and Noah Brooks on camera together, or whatever scene they have, to me it's just a spark. And so, like I said, I saw, I've seen all the episodes in season 1. I saw the dynamic of Alex and Derek, and to me there's just no comparison to what I see when I look at the chemistry between Alex and Noah. It's not about who looks better with who. It's not about who I want to be with who, because if the situation was different, I would definitely be like, no, I may want Alex to be with Noah, but I can clearly see, like, Derek is the one. If that was the case, I would have those thoughts. I would express that, even though it may not be what I want to see, but I would express that if I really believe that. So, I'm not I'm not bashing it. I'm not saying that I don't like the character. It's just what I see as far as the direction of the show, what I see when I look at chemistry, when I look at storylines, because you do have to keep it exciting. You do have to keep things engaging with your audience. Despite of what majority of your audience may want to see, you have to do what's best for your show, what's gonna progress your storyline. And so that's what I do. Like, even when I write my books, that's what I do. And I know it's challenging, because you fall in, whoever is writing, they're not trying to bash, but you got to have a storyline. And for me, I fall in love with all of my characters, and it's hard to, I may want this person to be with this person, but for the sake of the storyline. And that actually happened. And I've written 2 novels, and it's a series, and I actually wanted the character to end up with the person she didn't end up with, because I ain't gonna tell y'all, because some of y'all have purchased the books, and thank you. I wanted them to end up with one person, but for the story, for the purpose of the story, for the purpose of the narrative, I put her with someone else. And so sometimes that's a hard decision to make, because in actuality, someone may be the better person for that person, but for your story. And as a writer, that's what you're all about. It ain't about the characters, not about who like who most, not about what the fans want. It's about your story. You are getting the most emotion, the most effect, the most passion out of your story. And with that, I see Alex and Noah being able to produce that type of emotion, that type of feeling, that type of passion. And that's just what I see. So, you know, I got a lot of flack from that last video I did when I was talking about how Alex and Derek's relationship is stale, how it's, you know, 8 feet in the ground and all that. So, and I still stand by that. I'm not changing it. I still stand by that because of the purpose of the narrative, the purpose of progressing the storyline. So I don't bash anybody. I don't hate on anybody. And honestly, you know, I just love the show. I didn't even know who half of these people was until I started watching the show. The only people I knew, you know, of course, you knew Queen Latifah and all of that. You knew Quincy. And I wasn't even like a big Quincy fan. I knew who he was. And I have definitely enjoyed his acting. But it's like I'm not like huge fan. I wasn't huge fans of anyone. I didn't know who Ryan Destiny was. I didn't know who Brittany was. I didn't know who Jude was. I had no earthly idea. Of course, I knew who Luke James was. But for the most part, I really didn't know the characters. Of course, Michael Michelle, she's absolutely beautiful. But I did not know the stars of the show like that. And you know, I'm glad that this show, and you know, I'm going to talk about that in that professional interview I was telling you guys about how I actually stumbled upon Star and why I'm so keen on following your dreams. And when you have divine inspiration to do something, do it, because you never know what's going to happen. And doing these videos, for me, it has been it's been a beautiful thing. I have met people who I would not have met. I'm able to talk to people. I'm able to communicate. And one thing I do, so this is also like a fan appreciation video too. And one thing I do appreciate, because even though I may not comment on some of the things or whatever, I do go back and I read everything that people are saying. And I even like some of the dialogue, you know, that I love the dialogue that you guys have amongst yourselves, that we can agree to disagree. Even though some people are very strong, you know, strong-willed in their either they're disagreeing or them agreeing. Like, we can all be adult about, you know, grown up about these things. So I do appreciate that, because that's what it means to have a great story. Open up portals for people to have effective communication, and that has been my hope ever since I started doing these videos. The first video I did was I think it was like November, December 2017, and I never even imagined these videos would get the views that they have, or they would get people commenting like it has been. But it has been such a beautiful thing, you know. So I am appreciative of people taking the time out to listen to me, to comment, for people to have a openness. And I want to make this clear, because I have people that message me and they'll say, you know, I hate to bother you, I don't want to bother you. You're not bothering me. Trust me, you're not bothering me. It may take me a little minute to respond to you, because there are multiple people, you know, commenting and sending me stuff, but it is not a bother. This is my dream, a part of my dream, to be able to have this base of people that I can communicate with about something that obviously we all love. So I do thank you guys, and I do appreciate you. So now you know a little bit more about why I love this couple so much, and I just see so much potential as far as storylines. Like, my mind be like going. I have so many, you know, storylines for Nalex, and it's just exciting to see what the writers are going to come up with in season 3. I'm excited. I know y'all are excited. And so that's what it is for me, man. Like, I'm simple. I'm just all about the chemistry. I'm all about, you know, how I feel when I look at something. When I first saw Alex and Derek, I was, you know, I thought it was cute. I was drawn in. I thought they were really cute together, you know, learning about love, learning about relationships, learning about, you know, taking care of somebody, learning about all of those things. And it was beautiful to watch. But something was always missing. Like, okay, they got this, they got that, but something is missing in this. And I never believed that their relationship was going to be something that was going to last for the duration of the series, but for the run of the show. I never believed that. So when Noah came in, it was like, yes, this is it. No lie. The first episode of season 2, when they were at the club, and when Noah walked in, she kind of gave him this look like, that's Noah Brooks. And so when Star was talking to him and she walked up to him, he was like, hey, ain't you somebody's daughter? And she was like, I'm somebody's daughter. Like, I knew then. It was like they weren't even, at that time, there was like no type of sexual tension, or maybe a little bit. But it was like nothing to elude us, to let us know that this was going to be someone that was going to cause a shift in her relationship with Derek, or even a shift within herself. And I read later on that, you know, they had already put it out there that, you know, Luke James was coming and his character was going to cause some strife in Alex's relationship with Derek. And I'm like, see, I didn't even know that. So coming in late to the game has been very good for me, because number one, I wasn't privy to a lot of the things that was going on, or the articles that was out there, or what was going to be happening in the upcoming season. I had no idea. So as I was watching it, I was able to draw my own conclusions without being influenced by what was going on social media. Hell, dog, y'all, I just got Twitter like 2 months ago. I made an account, never got on it because I didn't like it, but now that I know how to work it a little bit, you know what I'm saying? So it's like I had no idea of the social media frenzy that was surrounded by Star. I just didn't. But yeah, Alex and Noah, they gonna, when I saw that episode, I was like, that's what she gonna be with. That's her soulmate. That's who it is. I knew instantly what they were gonna do with that. So y'all mark my words now. Y'all might not like it. Some of y'all I know watching this, y'all might not like it, but y'all gonna refer to this video. I'm like, that heifer was right. Darn it, she was right. But I'm just saying, watch what I say now. It's gonna happen. So yes, I just want to give y'all a short little video to keep my word. Monday and Thursday, like I said, the videos we posted by 7 o'clock. Thank you guys for being so consistent. Thank you for listening again. Thank you for commenting. And y'all know, I see y'all Thursday at 7. I'm gonna be there, so make sure y'all be there. And y'all have a safe day. All right, talk to y'all later.